Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you again to another episode of our teachings on business systems creation. Today, we are starting a series on why every business fails without a system. Why every business fails without a system. And today, this lecture addresses one of the most fundamental principles of business management and administration. This uh, addresses the importance of systems in every business and why these businesses will fail, or every business will fail where there is no system. Every business, whether it is a global corporation, whether it is a medium sized enterprise, whether it is a one person startup business, they will ultimately fail where there is no system, where there is no structure. So it is not a curse, it is just the way it is, just the way God created the universe to function within his system. God created the sun to move in a particular pattern. He created the sun to create oxygen, created the plants to take in carbon dioxide and to release oxygen. So these are systems that sustain life in the planet Earth. So no business can succeed without a system. It is the burden of the CEO, you that is the founder of that business, to first of all create systems and structures before you start employing human resource, before you start venturing into that business. There has to be a system and there has to be a structure. And I've seen in my over 15 years of study on this subject that being well intentioned and having the resources does not exempt you from failure when you neglect system creation or structuring, factoring it as the first thing you do when you get into business. So many people have started with good intentions. They've done their market survey. They have amassed enough capital to start up their business, but they neglected this very important principle, and it has not favored them. It has not helped them. Their businesses have failed, unfortunately. So it is this repeated pattern that I have seen that encouraged me to go into this, and I'm hoping by these episodes and lectures I'm giving to help you avoid that pitfall and also help you on creating systems and structures and putting it into your business. So I want to take you deep into this particular truth by leaning on ancient wisdom as from the scriptures, and again from Peter Drucker, who is a pioneer of modern business management. So we're going to be leaning deeply on the scriptures, the ancient wisdom coming from God via the scriptures, and then from Peter Drucker, who is said to be the pioneer of modern business management. So let's go deep into this. We're going to be looking at what we mean by system or system creation and system structuring. We're going to look at that word system and what does it mean. And here it is from my note here. A system is an organized, repeatable, structured way of doing things that ensure consistency, predictability, scalability in your business operations. I take it again. A system is an organized, repeatable, structured way of doing things that ensures consistency, predictability, and scalability in your business operations. So you develop behavioral patterns in your business that is repeatable, that is structured in a way that ensures consistency. When people come to work for you, you have to create a culture, a way of behaving. If not, they will impose on you their own culture. They said if you don't have that behavioral pattern by design, what we call system, you will have one by default, and you will arrive at the destination that you didn't plan for. So a system is an organized, repeatable, structured way of doing things. There has to be a structured way of doing things. You don't put people in a job and expect them to deliver when there is no structured way of doing things. For example, I keep telling people, when God brought my attention to this, He asked me to go and look at businesses like First Bank, that has been there for over 100 years in Nigeria. Look at Shell, Shell product, petroleum industry. It's a mega industry here in Nigeria. And then Coca-Cola, and look at what is the thing that make that business to move from a small scale, medium scale business when they started to become a global business that is almost timeless, that defeated the vagaries of seasons, different governmental policies. And what I discovered is that they have a system. A system is stronger than character, is stronger than charisma, is stronger than educational qualification. So you come into First Bank you come into that bank as a staff. You are expected to log in, and when you log in into that system, somebody is monitoring your account and gives you a password, and whatever you're doing is being supervised. So it's difficult for somebody to really misbehave when there is constant supervision. We're going to be looking at that when the person is aware of a behavioral pattern that is expected, and I saw that also in one of the mega churches that we have here in Nigeria, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, where whatever a pastor is to do on a Sunday morning or a midweek service is already scaled out for him. It's already given to him. It's not to do anything spontaneous. Everything is objective. Nothing is subjective. So a system talks about a repeatable, structured way of doing things. There's a structured way that is spelled out during the staff training. When you train your staff, we call it policy statements. When you come to work, this is how you dress, this is how you talk to customers. As you enter First Bank, the security man at the gate tells you, "Welcome to First Bank." And you're going out, the same person tells you, "Thank you for banking with us." And when you go to the cashier, you never see the cashier respond harshly to the staff. So they are trained on how to behave. And that training is based on the system that's already been created, the policies that have been formulated. Policies are expected behavioral patterns that a staff in an organization should manifest. So all the variables that affect day-to-day running of the business are factored, and behavioral patterns are created to be able to manage those variables that could affect the business adversely. So there has to be a structured way of doing things in your business, and this structured way of doing things ensures consistency. You can get anybody who is determined to work with you and train them, so that even when a staff who is already on that seat has a reason not to come to work, your business does not stop going, because that office has other people who are already trained to behave in that particular pattern. So the office dictates the behavior, not the person sitting in the office. It is the office that dictates the behavior of the person who is sitting on that chair. Yes. So it's not the person that determines what the office does. The office already has its own mind. So that's what we mean by being systemic. The office has its own. For example, you're a pastor of a church, and you have a prayer department. That prayer department should have expected behavioral pattern. We call them structure. We call them systems. How many times do they pray in a week? At what time? And what character should the prayer department member or the prayer coordinator exhibit under what circumstance? And this structured way of doing things must be predictable. You must be predictable. It's something that you can tell what your staff is doing at a particular time, even if you're not there. You can tell how your staff will respond under a particular variable, under a particular circumstance. When, for example, in the bank, a customer is not satisfied, maybe came in with an attitude and is shouting, is screaming. You can predict what your staff will do at that particular time. You can train, your staff is trained on how to respond. They are trained on emotional intelligence, which are part of the system structuring when you are training your staff. So, and also this structured way of doing things also is scalable. What we mean by scalable, you can measure it. You can know when the person is failing. You can also scale it up. You can first measure it, and then you can also scale the behavior, make it better. So this is exactly what we mean by structuring repeated way of doing things. You train your staff on how to do something. They are not to lean on their emotions. They are to lean on the textbook, what you have given them to work with. Very important. So when God put man in the garden, he gave him a structured way of behavior. Say, this particular thing, don't do it. Don't eat this fruit. The day you eat it, you shall die. So that's a structured way of doing things. Say, tend the garden, multiply. So you don't leave a human being to behave the way they want and expect the outcome that is favorable. Man is not created to function like that. No. Yes. So that's the honest truth. So this your system is not a bureaucracy. It is not a bureaucracy. It is a discipline. So it is it is something that is non-negotiable for all of your staff. It's very important. And then it is not rigidity, it is order and clarity. You see, when you have a system, everybody knows what is expected of them and who to account to, who to report to, you know. So it creates order, it creates clarity. You know, when I took my job as a manager of an organization, my boss, the CAD, corporate administrator, corporate affairs director, rather, gave me over 10 expected behavior from me each day. You know, this is what you're to do, this is what you're to do. When I got there, I didn't see that, so I had to go to her office and say, please, ma'am, I want to have what are the things expected of me? Where is my boundary? Where should I stop? And how far should I go in acting as a manager? What and what will make this place better, make this office better? So she had to put that in front of me, and I kept it. That's the first thing I read each time I came to office, and till today, I've left that organization about 20 years ago. Still today, I still enjoy a lot of goodwill from them because of my performance. I didn't study management sciences, but I just took interest in it and I read up books. I'm talking about 24, 25 years ago when I finished my youth service. And I had the opportunity to go for an interview as a manager of an organization. Yes, I had managed people. Prior to that time, I was a pastor of a campus fellowship for 4 years. Before that time, I had managed a home cell. So I had been in a managerial position, and I've seen the importance prior to that time of having training people in our campus fellowship youths who today are bishops, who today are doing exceptionally well, you know. So we'll be talking about that in the future. So it is important to have this system, a structured way of behavior that creates clarity, that creates scalability, and all of that. Now, something I want us to note, I want you to note, if you want to write it down, is that a system answers these critical questions. How you know your system, how to really know if your system is effective is it has to answer these four questions. A, who does what? Who does what? Who is to do what? And all of that. So that comes into their training. When you employ your staff, you have to have, like I said, a policy statement. What you expect the person to do each time. In fact, in my office as a pastor, I have what is called time log. You know, the when a staff comes into the office as a church staff, we have a time chart where we break down the hour, the duration the person is going to stay in the office from 8 in the morning. So you have a chart from 8 to 9. You're supposed to do this. 9 to 10 you're supposed to. So each day the staff checks those charts. In the morning you're supposed to be in morning devotion chart. I was there. You put the time and sign. 9 to 10 I'm supposed to write a report on a particular activity or what happened on Sunday. Check, it is done. So we call that timeline. We call it timeline. The one you could not do at that time, you indicate and send an arrow that you are carrying it forward. Very important. So it tells you who to do what. That's number one. Your system should be able to answer that question. Who is doing this? Who is moving this product from here to there? Who is to call for an administrative meeting? So those activities should be assigned to a particular office. So that office will do that. Not you don't. It's not the person whether the person likes it or not. That's what the office requires that the person sitting on that chair will do at a particular time. That's the first. Who does what? Number two, how do they do it? How are you going to do that? Are you going to do it excellently well? Are you going to do it and you define what excellence is based on what you are looking to achieve? How is the person going to do it? It is with that you are able to supervise and scale and be able to reward or punish. So how do that activity, how do they do it? So you have to define, your system should be able to define the action, how the action should be carried out. So the first one is who does what. Number two, question that your system should answer is how do they do it. Number three, with what resource are they going to do it? Who is going to provide the resources and what are those resources? What is the quality of that resource? You don't use any and anyhow product to do that. You define it very well. No assumptions. No assumptions. This is what you're going to do. If you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. You're going to preach on a Sunday. How many hours of fasting and prayer? You're going to do it with what? With the scriptures, with prayer, with fasting. You're working in the bank. What software are you going to use in your accounting system, in all of that? And are you versatile in those systems? How are they going to, with what resource are they going to do what they are doing? For example, you have a restaurant. What resources are they going to use to prepare a particular dish? You know, what do they put into a particular meal? Very important. And then finally, at what time, by when are they expected to do that? Because you do the wrong thing at the wrong time, or you do the right thing at the wrong time, it defeats the purpose. And there's a scripture that says all things should be done in decency and in order. All things should be done in decency and in order. All right. Peter Drucker said, there is nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. There's nothing as useless as doing something so well that shouldn't even be done at all. Yes. I had that challenge. I thought I was doing very well. And my boss, the chief medical director, would complain bitterly. He wasn't satisfied with my job, but I was working. So I had to find out from the CAD, okay, what should I do? How should I do it to satisfy him? So it is what the system creates to avoid those challenges. Praise the Lord. So as we summarize this section, because it's just a 25-minute section each of these episodes, systems prevents waste. It prevents wasted effort by ensuring that activities are aligned with results that matter. So you avoid waste of time, waste of resources, waste of effort by creating a behavioral pattern system where things are done and results are achieved. So systems prevent wasted efforts by ensuring activities are aligned with results that matter. And also systems target variables and create activities that control those variables to the advantage of the business owner. All right, so today we have come to the end of this particular episode. We're looking at this, it's going to be a long session at why businesses fail. Businesses fail when there is no structure. And this particular episode, we have looked at what is system. That's all we did today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was very beneficial as I wished it to be, and I pray that God will use it to bless you and your business. Please follow me, follow this YouTube page, subscribe to my page so that you can get notifications when we have new episodes. Like and share. Thank you so much for allowing me come to you to be a blessing to you and your business. God bless you.